I'm surprised that this hasn't come up more strongly. I think it's reflective of the district that it hasn't, and that economic development was at the forefront. But the crime question. And I'd like to know from each of you what you would do to help ensure opportunities and development of the young people of the district to keep them away from crime. Let's see. Let's start with Mr. Hankins this time.
Okay. We're dealing with a problem that's kind of generational, that's been left alone for a long time. So where do we start? I think the first thing to do is go into our schools and begin to secure our schools, make it safer for the teachers and the kids that's in there that want to learn. I think at the second time, simultaneously what we need to do is look for the kids who have dropped out of school. The question that I have in my mind is, where are they? Who will happen to them now? And what's going to happen to those kids 3-4 years from now? Those same kids that we're talking about now will be the ones that committed the murders and will be in jail and will be paying for their incarceration. So I think the first thing I would do is have those kids come back, find a way to work with them, and get job training and education for those youth.
Thank you. Councilman Tasca?
Well, through the years, what we've tried to do is to strengthen our economic corridors in the community, so thereby to help create jobs for young people. The other thing is I've spent a lot of time and effort and money in revitalizing and building recreation facilities for young people so they have a place to go. We have teen centers. We work with the high schools in my district, and we have put a teen center there. We work with the after-school programs to make sure they're available to young people to serve as a distraction, give them alternative activities. We have the PAL centers in my community to help young people with a positive environment and things of that nature. What we need are more jobs. We need more jobs in the city for young people. We need to really hone in on forcing the labor unions to open up.
Thank you, Mayor. Sorry, your time is up. Mr. Jones?
Yes, more jobs, I think, is at the core. Poverty, issues of alienation, really is at the heart of some of the despair that you see that manifests itself in some violent outbursts. So I think you definitely continue to focus on creating opportunities for young people to work. Second, I think you really need to continue to fund organizations, grassroots organizations that are on the front lines, that are providing services such as the Adolescent Violence Reduction Program, which is a great program and has a great degree of success, where you really focus on kids who've had some issues in the system. You want to get to them, you want to monitor them and stay with them, so to speak, so that they can sort of begin to change their behavior.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I want to follow up with that one from a question I have, which is, I would expect each of you are students of what works in local government, and I'd like to know if you've ever seen a city grapple with a problem as severe as 40% of ninth graders failing to graduate, and how you can take that generation and somehow rescue them. Are there programs that you think are worth emulating from another place? Let's start with Mr. Jones.
Well, I don't know if Philadelphia is kind of unique. I mean, in the sense that I don't mean that just as a broad answer. It's very difficult then to take a model from a Boston or from a New York, which has a different focus. Let me give you an example. For example, the number one cause of homicide in the city is arguments. If you watch the news, you might think just because a drug drive-by is the lead-off story that that's the issue. It's not the case. It's an argument issue. It's an issue of one's feeling of a disconnect and disrespect for others. That may be just unique to us. I've worked and talked with my counterparts who are doing work in Pittsburgh and even in Reading and some other places. Not quite the same. So I don't know if, in fact, you can just grab an example and stamp it in the city. I think our neighborhoods are uniquely made up. history of those issues are unique to us. So I think part of the struggle is that we're grappling with that.
I'm sorry, I will ask a follow-up to get to part of that. Councilman Tasco, have you seen programs that are worth emulating from other places?
I work with the National League of Cities, and this is an issue that we talk about during the course of our deliberations at our conferences. And it seems that violence is everywhere, not just in Philadelphia. I'm not sure that there's any one program that we can look at to say that would fit Philadelphia. I do think that what we have to do is focus in on early childhood education and development and work with young people to deal with conflict resolution before they get to ninth grade. Ninth grade is a little late. We need to focus in on from their preschool to kindergarten, working with them to teach them morals and help them develop values that will carry them forward. So there's no one answer to this issue. We all have ideas of what could happen, and we have to try whatever we can to address the issue.
Mr. Hankins?
Yes. I believe that, having been in the government for a long time, with programs and youth and adults with problems, I think one of the problems that I come across is that we do have good programs in the city now. Problem is, the program that's effective, we don't support. The program that's not effective, we give money to. That's the problem. And we need to.
What program is that?
Excuse me, Mr. Judge. We're going to do this in an order of fashion.
I just want to talk about case management as a model. Case management is effective. If you use it effectively and you actually take the kids in perspective and you work with them. Mr. Jones mentioned the ERP program with the city. It's not effective to me because it's too scattered. But let me say to you that if you focus it and if your goal is to really support that child and provide that child and that family what they need, then you do effective case management. And that case manager will provide that person with an assessment and that family and support that family through the system.
Right. I'm going to ask the follow-up so everybody gets a chance to answer that. And here's how I'm going to ask it. Let's put this in dollars.